Today, with what we have done with mobile money interoperability in the whole of Africa, it is only Ghana that has complete domestic payments interoperability. Only Ghana. And we have 100% access to financial inclusion. Today, we have brought drones to help in the delivery of medical services, blood to help in the delivery of vaccines and drugs. And today, our drones, we have 6 centers for medical drones, and they are delivering medicines to 2,700 hospitals and health facilities across Ghana. Today, Ghana, our own Ghana, is the whole world, the leading medical drone delivery service in the whole world. The whole world. We are leading. In the area of agriculture, we came up with the Planting for Food and Jobs program. The Planting for Food and Jobs program is one of the most successful agricultural programs that we have implemented in this country. We have more than doubled the rate of growth in agriculture, and we have increased food security in Ghana. We see the whole of Africa. We have 54 countries. The countries with the most food security, or if you rank the countries by food security, Ghana is number 3 in Africa, and out of the 54 countries, number 3 in Africa in terms of food security. South Africa is number 1, Kenya is number 2, and Ghana is number 3. It shows that we have done something right. When you come to the macro economy, what is clear is that notwithstanding the challenges we've had, we have performed better than the government of John Dramani Mahama. Across. We have grown the economy more than him. Overall GDP growth is higher. Agricultural growth under us is higher. Industrial growth is higher. If you look at the budget deficit, ours is lower. You look at the primary balance, ours is lower. You look at gross international reserves, ours is higher. You look at exchange rate depreciation, ours is lower. Ours is lower. Sometimes they don't even understand the data. Do the math and you see that notwithstanding the problems we've had in the global economy, our exchange rate depreciation at 72% over 8 years is lower than your 74% over 8 years. We have created more jobs than he has. He was creating unemployment. We were creating jobs. We have kept the lights on. So when it comes to the macro economy, it is night and day. We have done better across. Then when you look at infrastructure, we have done almost too much, isn't it? We have done more roads than his government, isn't it? We have built more airports than his government, more interchanges than his government, more hospitals than his government, more schools than his government, more ports than his government, more fish landing sites than his government, more public libraries than his government, more fiber optic cable than his government, more sanitation facilities than his government, more Zongo infrastructure than his government, more infrastructure for the military, the navy, and the army, and the police than his government. There's not one area, one in infrastructure, one that he can compete with us. Not one across all the sectors. The data is clear. So when he said The performance of his government was better than ours. I said to him, if you believe that, then come for a debate, one-on-one. Let us show whether it's the case or not. Come for a debate. Come for a debate. When you come for a debate, you cannot come and say, hey, Yesu, and go away. I'll pin you down with the facts and data. I'll pin you down with the facts and data. I will pin you down. When I told him to come, na osuro, Ojani tisan kukon kiti, Ojani. So, on what basis does John Mahama want to come back? What is the basis? You cannot say you've done better in education, not in healthcare, not in agriculture, not in infrastructure, not in digitalization. Maybe you have done better in Dumso, I confirm, and then go on, that's it. We want a government. We want a government that is going to move this country into the fourth industrial revolution. I have many initiatives that I am bringing. I want Ghana to move away from a dependence on oil and gas to solar power. Solar power. Solar power. We are going to bring down the cost of electricity by 50%, and we are going to do it by moving to solar power. So we are going to move to electric vehicles in public transportation. We have started to do the pilot. By moving to electric vehicles, we are going to bring down the cost of public transport by 50% to everybody. We are bringing down the cost of public transport. We are going to leverage the private sector of this economy to create jobs. The private sector holds the key to our wealth creation and prosperity. I am going to make sure that at least 3% of GDP, that is 30 billion Ghana cedis, is ceded to the private sector from the public sector to create jobs for our economy. I am going to bring a flat tax regime to Ghana. A flat tax regime for our imports, a flat tax regime for our incomes. And that will make it very, very easy for tax collection and understanding compliance and so on. So Ghana will have, by the grace of God, a flat tax regime next year. To make sure we all start on a clean slate, I'm bringing in a tax amnesty for all businesses and individuals next year so that we move. The transformation of this country cannot be done without railway infrastructure. We, in the first 8 years, we have been focusing a lot on our roads. I am going to bring in the required investment to build our railway infrastructure. Accra, Kumasi, Paga, Kumasi, Takradi, Ejusu, Eduade, Awasu, Winahene, Eduade. We are going to do all those railways, the great jobs for this country. We are also going to enter into the decade of housing. We are going to address the decade of housing. We are going to build houses just like Singapore did with private sector capital. And I'm going to move. Look, let me tell you one thing. State Housing Corporation, during President Mahama's term of office, state housing, they built only 12 houses. 12. During our term, we have built over 1,000 houses in state housing. So good. When you go to Tema Development Corporation, TDC, during Mahama's period, they built 0 housing. 0. During our period, TDC has built over 1,000 houses. So, when I tell you that we are going to go into a decade of housing, I know what I'm talking about. We are going to go into a decade of housing to leverage on the private sector to build housing. And housing means jobs. Carpenters, masons, electricians, plumbers, windows people, roofers, a lot of jobs to all our people. So boy, we are in the digital world, and I want